Hello guys, this is Navin Reddy from Dataflare. In this video, we'll start with the first code for Java. Now, when you want to code in Java, you need three things. First, a editor where you can type your code. Second, a compiler to compile your code. That means it will convert your .java file into a class file. And third thing is you require a interpreter. That is your JVM, right? So provided you have installed all these applications already, if you have not done it, so first you can go to Oracle's site and you can download JDK, because it will be useful for you to download your to compile your files. Then you require a notepad where you can type the code, and then when you're going to compile those files, you require Java C and Java JVM. Now here, instead of writing your code in Notepad and compiling that code in CMD, what we can do is we can use something called as IDE. Now IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. As we have seen in theory, one of the best IDE to work with Java is Eclipse. Now, which version of Eclipse you can use? So you can go to this Eclipse site and you can download this Eclipse, which I am using is Kepler. So you can use Luna or you can use Kepler. Now, to work with Eclipse, the first step you have to go is first you have to go to File and create a project. So whenever you work with Eclipse and whenever you work with Java in Eclipse, you have to create a project. So go to your project here, and then you have to select a Java project. Again, we can create EJB applications, we can create Java enterprise applications, but since we are working on core Java, we have to select Java project. Now, once you selected the project, now you have to provide a project name. Now, this project name can be anything, but make sure you give a suitable project name. So we'll say, since this is our first project, so we'll say first project. Okay, then it will ask you for execution environment. So the latest release of Java is Java 1.8. So we can go with that also, or you can select 1.7 and then click on next and then finish. So once you click on finish, on the left side, this is your project explorer. So there you can see a project, and in this you will be having two folders. One will be SRC and second is JRE system libraries. So if you are using any inbuilt libraries or if you want some set of APIs, you can add it here. Time being, will ignore this part and we'll focus on this SRC folder. Now this SRC folder is blank. What I will do is I will create a new Java file. So to create a new Java file, just right click, new, and click on Java class. Now here we'll provide a name for this Java class, and we'll say this is demo test, because since we are testing the application. Now when you create a Java file with this name demo test, make sure you mention a package name. So it is always recommended to use a package name. Okay, now what is basically package is? Package is a folder. So you can treat it as folder where your Java file will reside. So we'll give our package name as it is, we'll say com dot dataflare dot, and we'll say this is Navin. So in this, the package name is com.dataflare.navin, which means it will create a folder com. In that folder, it will create a folder called Dataflare. In that folder, it will create a folder called as Navin. And then say finish. Now, once you click on finish, you will get a package as a folder, which is com.dataflare.navin. And then we got this file called as demo test. Now you can see we have file name and class name same. Again, it's not compulsory to have class name and file name same, but if you have a class which is public, then it's compulsory. Now, whenever you work with Java applications, so everything should be in this. Everything should be in a class, because Java follows OOPS concept. Now here, what we can do is, whenever you start with an application or when you compile the application, then it will go for running on JVM. JVM needs a main method. So JVM says specify the starting point. So we'll say, okay, the starting point of your code will be main method. So if you're familiar with C and C++, in C also and C++, we use main function. Here we have to use main method because in object-oriented concepts, functions are called as methods. Now this main function here returns nothing. So we'll say void. Okay. Now when you talk about Java or any object-oriented programming system languages, when you call a method, that method should be called with the help of object. It's because in this programming like Java, object knows something and object does something. When you say object does something, it does with the help of methods. So that means methods belongs to object. But since main is the first statement to be executed, that's why we say it is as static, which means we don't require an object to call main. And since JVM will be calling this function or method, will say it is public. And then you have to say open and close. Now see, there are some chances that when you run this code main, you have to pass some parameters. Now when we talk about these parameters, it can be integer type, it can be string type, it can be double type, right? So we have different type of data types in Java. Since if you mention it as string, it can save integer values also in the format of string. It can save double value in the format of string. So what we'll do, we'll take a string type, and then we are not sure is it one arguments or two arguments. So we'll say we will take an array of string. Okay, so this is this default signature of main method. So what we'll be doing here, we will just print system dot we'll print hello. So now how to print hello? It's very simple. To print something, we require a method again. So we'll say print. In this print, I want to specify I want to print hello. But in Java, if you want to do something, you require a method, and this method, it can be a static method, which means we don't require object like main function or main method. But here, this print is it's a non-static method which belongs to an object called as out. Now what is out here? Out is the object of predefined class which is already created, and this object is created as a static object in system class. Again, what do I mean by static object and what is the system class, that we'll see later. But the signature of a print is system.out.print, and in bracket you have to specify hello. Now how to run this code? You just have to save this file and you can right click here. So there's an option of run as Java application. So once you click on this Java application, it will run, and you can see in this area, this is your console window. You will see an output as hello. So this is how you have to run your first code in Eclipse environment. Again, to install Eclipse, you require a JDK installed, and then you have to download Eclipse from Eclipse website. You can download Kepler or Luna. So that's it for this video. We'll continue with the remaining part in the next video. Thank you so much.